TikTok is quite literally ruining your life. Unlike other social media platforms, which I'm not a massive fan of either, but they at least have like a social element where, you can message people, you can send pictures, all this jazz. TikTok is nothing but pure evil. The second that you go on that app, you are given just an abundance of dopamine, and it's literally just a scroll away to get the next hit and the next hit and the next hit. And let me guess, before you know it, you scrolled for around an hour and you can't even remember 99% of anything that you just saw. So not only did you just waste an hour of your time, but you also ruined your attention span, your self-image, and any ambition that you had prior. Now, right now, all the normies are going to click off because either they got offended or they just have a fucking shit attention span, and they'll go back to their 14 hours of screen time where they get validated by other normies who are all like,
oh yeah guys, we're all lazy together.
But chances are you're watching this because, unlike them, you actually want to make a change in your life, or you're just curious to what I have to say, which is cool also. So I welcome you to the video. So let's expand on what I spoke about before. So how exactly is it ruining your life and the lives of pretty much our entire generation? Well, firstly, it's fucking addictive. The average time spent on the app daily for every user is just under 2 hours. That 2 hours could have been spent, elsewhere, putting value into the world, going to the gym, reading a book, spending time with family, these meaningful things which actually matter, but they're not sexy nowadays. And what's sad is that I can guarantee that every single person who uses this app, I guarantee most of the time it's just a thing of they get bored and they think,
oh yeah, I'm bored, so I'm just gonna scroll for like a few minutes, guys.
And before they know it, they've just wasted another 40 minutes of their life. And because they feel so shit about themselves, they get depressed and then they go on the app even more just to reinforce their negative self-image. And what's even sadder is that the people who are using this app for hours a day, who are clearly addicted and who clearly have, zero self-control when it comes to this shit, they will fight for these apps. They will fight because of how addicted and brainwashed they are. They will literally see us preaching like the negatives of this and trying to help them. And then they'll fucking cope and say,
oh no, it's not that bad, it's actually funny, I get value from it, guys.
They'll fight for something which is so obviously addictive and bad for them because they've been convinced by the modern fucking weak world that wasting 2 hours of your time every single day on an app which only brings you negatives, which is only bad for you and gives you no value in return. It's been so normalized. Like, you'll see this in real life. You'll literally see your friends. You've probably seen your friends literally brag like,
oh yeah, I waste so much time. I'm so lazy, guys. I go on my phone for 8 hours. I don't go to the gym, guys.
And if you've ever been on the comments as well on TikTok, you'll see the people in those comments, oh my fucking god, they're so brain dead. They'll literally just be playing off each other's fucking stupidity. They'll
be like, oh yeah, I'm so lazy. I never do this, guys. I'm too lazy. Oh yeah, me too, bro.
And this mentality isn't just with TikTok. It's with pretty much all areas of life, because once it gets reinforced into your brain that, other people are just as lazy as me, guys, it's okay. You'll see it in other areas, because I remember on TikTok, I would see these videos of people preaching like no fapping, like self-improvement, which I guess was kind of the start of my journey in a sense. But anyway, I'd see these comments of people saying,
oh no, no fap's a placebo, bro. It doesn't even work, bro.
But like, if you asked the same people who say that shit, oh, it's just a placebo, quit for a week. If it's a placebo, doesn't do anything, guys. If you're not addicted, then quit for a week. Oh, you relapse after 2 days. Oh, okay. Point proven. And also, a lot of these people have not even considered the fact that these apps have been, optimized to keep you on their platform for as long as possible. They have split tested, fucking people won't even know what that means, but they've split tested, which means they've compared like different ways of how like the screen looks. They've done that over and over and over and over and over again. They've poured millions, billions of dollars into this shit to keep you on there for as long as possible. They've optimized it to such an extent which keeps people on there for 2 hours a fucking day, and they get no value from it. And because your attention span gets worse in the process, it means that you're more likely to stay on the app for longer without even realizing like what you're doing. Because once you get fully addicted to these apps, you just end up scrolling mindlessly. You're not even thinking about what you're doing, you're just doing it. You're basically on like autopilot. And over time, it just gets worse and worse. You start off with, 10 minutes, like, oh, I was on 10 minutes, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And then you just keep doing it, and eventually it gets to more like an hour, 2 hours of just scrolling before you even realized, before you even come to your senses of like, oh shit, I just wasted my fucking time. And this takes me on to my next point, because the more that you use this app, the worse that your self-image will get. On apps like TikTok or really any social media, you will see people who are living a better life than you. You'll see people who are in better shape than you, who are better looking than you. You'll see all this materialistic shit, you know, this big house, this nice car. You'll see the people who have done these crazy gym transformations, everyone's fucking jacked, got a six-pack. And because you see this shit every single day, you just can't help but compare yourself to these people. And it's no wonder that there's such a rise in like mental health issues and eating disorders, because on a daily basis the users of this app are seeing people who have achieved such an unrealistic standard of living, of the way they look. You know, you see all of these TikTok dancers and you see them in fucking incredible shape, right? And then young people, fucking children, see that shit, they compare themselves to that shit, and then they try to get advice on it, you know, from the same app. They'll go to TikTok for fucking, never go to TikTok for advice, just don't. And they'll get some really fucking terrible advice, and then that advice will just lead to really, you know, tough problems down the line for them. And it's just fucking, it's just awful. You know, some of the fucking advice that I saw when I used to use TikTok, if you don't know, like, I was on TikTok for a solid 2 years of just hours a day on that shit. And some of the fucking stupidity that I came across was fucking insane. I don't think I ever got, you know, a genuine piece of value outside of some gym videos here and there, but for the most part, like, the return on investment of my time from scrolling for hours a day just to get a few videos maybe a day of some like okay advice just was not worth it. It was not worth the sacrifice of my mental health, you know, my attention span, my focus, and my self-image. But what you've got to realize is that the thing is, if these people on these apps genuinely had a really healthy self-image and they actually were confident in themselves, they wouldn't be posting on these social medias for validation, because all these people who are posting this materialistic shit, or they're posting these dances, knowing that they're like in shape, they're good looking, they just want your validation. They just want to reinforce this identity, like,
Oh yeah, I'm perfect, I'm amazing.
and you become obsessed with them. You start to look up to these people who literally just do dances online because of the way they look or the lifestyle that they have, and you keep going back to them more and more and more, and it just makes your self-image worse constantly. It's just a constant negative feedback loop. And I think the worst problem of all that's caused by all these social medias and TikTok especially is just this obsession with identity and, most of all, victimhood. TikTok has led a whole generation to believe that they just deserve everything. They're so special,
I deserve everything, guys.
even though they've put in no actual effort to show for it. Nowadays, hard work is just really frowned upon. You know, people who get like a lot of money, they make a lot of money from putting in hard work, they're frowned upon because apparently they're evil guys. They make a lot of money.
No, I deserve money because I changed my hair color.
And you'll know these kinds of people, the kind of people who they'll see like me and you working hard on something like meaningful. Like, I'm trying to spread the message of self-improvement. I want to get people off this app because I think it's fucking evil. And these people who are so addicted and who are so fucking brain dead, they'll see this shit, they'll see people working hard, and they'll think,
Oh no, that's bad.
they'll start to get angry because of it. They'll start to frown upon it because they'll never put in the work themselves. They're too lazy. They're too addicted to these apps. They spend all their time, all their fucking day, scrolling on TikTok. So it's no wonder that when they see people who aren't doing that shit, who are actually putting in the work, who are improving their lives, they think it's cringe, they think it's evil to make money. And when you have TikTok, you'll inevitably see a lot of this shit being spread around, and you'll start to believe it yourself. So with all these problems being said, and sorry I've been a bit ranty in this video, it's just been a bit all over the place to be honest. What's the real solution here? What can we actually do to fight back and overcome this delusion and just weak mentality that's just been shoved onto you by all these social media companies and the people who use the social medias? Now, I could give you this beta advice of just like,
Oh yeah, gradually deload, guys, and just unfollow people gradually.
like, no, I'm not going to do that. The truth is, you just need to delete it. Just delete it for good. It's not benefiting you in any way. You already know this. I've pretty much gone through why it's so bad for you in this video. There's no positive to keeping it in your life. Zero. So just delete it. But the thing is, you probably won't, because you think that you're going to miss out on something, right? You have FOMO. But it's like, the truth is, bro, you're not missing out on anything. You're only gaining back your attention span, your focus, your presence, your happiness, a positive self-image, because you're not constantly comparing yourself to these other guys, these other people who are fucking jacked or in amazing shape or who are really good looking, you know, compared to the average person. And you won't be deluded into thinking certain ways by these people who just have nothing better to do with their lives apart from just scroll on TikTok for fucking all day and then pretend that they're special and they deserve the entire world just because they fucking dyed their hair or some shit. The app is just full of fucking cretins, and if you don't want to stay addicted and you don't want to stay weak, then just delete it right now. There's only benefits to be gained from doing so. So with that being said, I just hope that this video convinced you or just encouraged you to delete this app for good, because it really just is a net negative on your life. There's no benefits to it at all. Thank you for watching, and stay focused.